Alright, what's going on, everybody? I know that I said that I wouldn't do another WWF storyline for this week, but I could not contain myself because I have found something, but I'll get to that in a minute. I just wanted to take this minute to really show you how much of a fan that I am of wrestling, or how I was a fan of wrestling, because I have so much shit. I even put Squishy Frog in the background now. Yeah. So, first thing I want to show you is this is my autographed Cactus Jack Wanted Dead shirt. I got this signed when he was in Newville, Pennsylvania, at the new high school. That was awesome. I actually had one that I always wore, but I bought a brand new one so he could sign it. I even wore the shirt as he signed this one, and he even said the same thing, as you bought a new shirt for me to sign and you're wearing the old shirt. I said, well, yeah, I want to save this one. And he said that was awesome. Now some of these are actually pretty rare. This was my EC F&W shirt. I actually found this at Walmart, of all places. And of course on the back it says, if you can read it, "The big two suck, we set the effing tone." You could not wear this in school anymore. I guarantee you couldn't. I don't think you can wear a lot of shit in school anymore. But yeah, that was my ECW shirt. I think I was one of the few people to rock the ECW shirt. Some of the other ones I got, a friend of mine when I worked at Crossroads helped me acquire some of these. This is my Owen 316 shirt in tribute to Owen Hart. When he had a feud with Steve Austin, he made these shirts that said Owen 316 says, "I just broke your neck." Because during their match, Owen gave Steve Austin a pile driver and really fucked his neck up. That's what really screwed up Steve Austin's career. It wasn't intentional, of course, but, you know, accidents happen. And, Owen, I miss you. This one's ultra rare and probably worth a lot now, because this is a Mike Awesome shirt from ECW. And on the back, of course, it has the Awesome Bomb on it. This, I don't know where you would find these anymore. And of course, Mike Awesome had sadly passed away. He killed himself. Tragic. But that was my Mike Awesome shirt. These two are actually, I don't know who really got these for me, but these are actually Ring Crew shirts. This was from a TV tour from 1990 to 91. Like, the actual crew wore this shirt. I think Dog might have actually gotten these for me. His mom may have. I'm not 100% on that, but yeah, that's the one. And then this one actually is a WWE version. That was WWF. This is WWE. This was actually from the pay-per-view that I went to in Hershey for Unforgiven, when they had actually a pay-per-view at Hershey Park, or the Giant Center anyway. Yeah, Goldberg, Triple H, title match. I hated that. That was the night Shane McMahon went off to Titantron, as he always does, because it's Shane McMahon, and he does that. Never worn these. Never worn them. And I'm not going to. And this one, rarest of the rare, I am sure. This is a Shane Douglas t-shirt from ECW, the franchise. And on the back it says, "The franchise, both God and the devil have dibs on his soul." This, I bought this, I think it was like Harrisburg, the Harrisburg Mall. They had this new wrestling store coming out, and I bought this bitch. And Again, I think I've only worn it one time, and you can't find this shit anymore. So that's really just a brief interlude of how crazy I am into this shit, and how much of a life I do not have. So anyway, the reason why I want to do this video is I have found something. I was perusing through Walmart, and I may have found, no, I did find quite possibly one of the greatest lost gems in all of cinema. This is a movie that just exudes awesomeness. It transcends everything you could think of. It is a movie that is so awesome, they made a storyline about it in wrestling. And of course, you might have figured it out by now. If you haven't, it's No Holds Barred. Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan in his first starring role as, what else, a wrestler. And I watched it, I came home real quick, I popped it in my DVD player, and I watched it, and it sucks. It sucks so bad. But it's a good kind of suck. And there is such a thing. Because, as I have said to many people, movies don't have to be good to be awesome. I watch bad movies all the time. I own a copy of The Room, for God's sakes. And you want to talk about shit. You want to talk about the funniest, worst movie you have ever seen in your life. Watch The Room. If you've never seen The Room, let me know. I will let you borrow my copy so that you can suffer as I have suffered. Anyway, getting back to No Holds Barred. This was released, I think, in 1989. Hulk Hogan's very first starring role in a movie. And like I said, this was breakthrough, groundbreaking acting because he played what else? A wrestler. And of course, what's his name? Tommy Tiny, I think Lester from the Friday movies, and he played the president in The Fifth Element. He plays Zeus. Yeah. And Kurt Fuller's in it from Wayne's World, and some other people. It's just funny. But the whole premise of this movie is pretty much just a wrestling storyline put into a movie. That's all it is. Because the concept of it is Hulk Hogan plays the world champion, but he's not just, they might as well have just called him Hulk Hogan, but they call him Rip. Rip. That's all they call him. He has no last name. His mother birthed him and said, she birthed him and said, I bequeath you the name of Rip. And I'm sure his father was like, honey, you need to give him a last name. No, he shall be called Rip. For now and forever, you are called Rip. No last name. If Madonna can do it, so can you. So, we have Rip. It's not, like, short for anything. It's not, like, Randy Rip. I would expect him to have, like, a last name or a first name at least. Hell, just go by Hulk Hogan's real name. Just call him Terry Bollea, but just call him Rip. Like, Terry Rip Bollea. Nobody would know that, except insiders. But anyway, Rip is the world champion. And, what's his name again? Kurt Fuller He plays this shady corporate television executive who wants Rip for his show. And what show that is, I don't know. They don't say. He just says, I want Rip on my broadcast, on my network. And his people surrounding him are saying, well, what's his name? Tom Burrell. Tom Burrell is his character's name. And they're like, well, Mr. Burrell, we have tried to get Rip on our network for years, but he has a contract with the network that he is on. And Tom Burrell looks at them like, well, I want him on this network. Do whatever it takes to get him. And his people say, Mr. Burrell, Rip, he is a man of integrity. He is a man of honor. He will not simply leave the network he is on for your network. Bullshit, he won't. He can be bought. Mr. Burrell, Rip's word is his bond. When Rip makes a promise, he keeps it. I don't care. Get me Rip. Rip can walk on water, sir. He shared a locker with Jesus Christ. He is but a savior. They just go on and on. And I'm thinking to myself, what exactly are they trying to do here? Okay, he wants him for his network. But for what? Why would he go to Rip? Why not go to, that guy that makes the matches and writes the scripts and approves the scripts and drat, what is his name? Oh yeah, Vince McMahon! Because it's obvious Rip, being the World Wrestling Federation champion, and they say it in the movie, we are to assume that Vince McMahon owns this company. So why not go to Vince McMahon and say, hey Vince, we want your wrestling show on our network? Because what would they do with Rip on their network? Would they have him do cooking shows? Maybe auto mechanics, maybe powerlifting with Rip, hairstyles done by Rip, how to tear off your t-shirt the Rip way. It makes no sense. Like, you wouldn't go to the wrestler. You don't go to the wrestler if you want him to go to your network. You go to Vince McMahon. You go to the promoter of the wrestler. So, we finally get Hulk Hogan out of the ring and into a setting where he needs to act. So, Tom Burrell, he has his two little stooges behind him. He's like, Rip, we're gonna offer you the world to come to our network. And Hogan's just sitting there like, the Thunder Lips, he is not. He is not channeling Thunder Lips at this point. And Burrell, he says like, he opens his checkbook. He says, I can write any number on this check and give it to you. What do you want? And Hogan, he says, I'm sorry, Mr. Burrell. I'm not for sale. I'm Rip. I'm a man of integrity. My word is my bond. I am one step down from the Messiah. And Brill's like, fuck you, Rip! You can be bought! Tell me what it is you want! And this pisses Hogan off, and he grabs him, he's like, let me tell you something, brother. Brother. And he fucking leaves. And Brill, he's like, oh, I'll show him. And that he calls somebody. He picks up his phone and he calls somebody. Here's the limo driver that's driving Rip around. And suddenly they're going the wrong way, and Hogan, in his best acting, he's like, what are you doing, brother? The hotel is that way. Like, brother, you're going the wrong way. Why aren't you answering me, brother? And he puts the little privacy thing up, and Rip starts like tearing apart the limo in the back. He's like, I'll show you, brother. And they get to this garage or whatever, and apparently Brill has hired these thugs to beat him up. And Hogan literally bursts out of the back of this limo, and he's like, ah! He's the Incredible Hulk all of a sudden. So he beats the shit out of everybody, and he grabs the one guy, and he's just making this goofy like face. No joke, he makes that face. And all of a sudden he's like, what's that smell? And the poor guy he's like, it's Dookie. And Hogan's like, Dookie? Look at Dookie. I shit my pants. Because you're so scary. So, apparently I'm doing a movie review here quick. Oh well, I might as well do it. So, Mr. Brell decides that he needs somebody to teach Rip a lesson. So, he goes to this bar where they have this makeshift ring out of like car tires and just like ropes. And he's sitting there watching these two guys beat the shit out of each other in this ring, and one of his toadies looks at one of the guys and was like, where's the referee? And one of the wrestlers says, there ain't no referee! He's over there at the bar drinking! And the guy's like, well, what about the rules? And he said, rules? Ain't no rules! Only rule is, last man standing wins! And Brell gets this smile on his face. He's like, yes, I want this. I want this for my network. And so he holds a press conference and he says, ladies and gentlemen, my network will broadcast a brand new show. It's called, and get ready for this epic title. You know, he's like, we're going to promote this underground fighting league. And what do you think you would call it? If you're this guy and you had this underground fighting league, you would call it like, you know, like Brawl for All, like Badass Brawl, or something with a little bit of a catch to it. No. He says, this show is going to be called The Battle of the Tough Guys. The Battle of the Tough Guys. I will give you credit. It's incredibly direct. Not creative, but direct. So, they go back to the bar, and they say, like, whoever wins this Battle of the Tough Guys wins $100,000. Cash free, or tax free. So everybody's beating the shit out of each other, and suddenly, like, the bar doors like blast open like an explosion, and here comes fucking Zeus, this 7-foot, 300-pound, bald, sneering, black brick shithouse. The fucker is huge. And of course, he gets in there, he kills everybody. And Brill's like, he's like, yes! Like, you are the man! And as he's doing this, they cut to Rip's mansion. And he's sitting around with, like, his brother, his friend, and his manager. And they're like, who is this guy? I don't know. And the manager says, like, I know who that is. I didn't think they let him out. He's like, what do you mean? He says, well, I used to manage him, and he killed somebody in the ring because he couldn't control his anger. He got sent away for a while, but I guess he got out. Yeah, I'd say he got out all right. So, at this point, we are treating this now as a blood sport. Like, wrestling is not fake at this point in time. It's real. Rip gets in that ring every night and risks his ass. It's real, damn it. So, the middle of the movie sucks because it's just all filler. It shows Zeus beating up people and Rip saying, like, I'll never fight you, brother. I'll never fight you. And they try and tie in some romance plot with him and Joan Severance. And I don't know why. Like, it's one of those. It's definitely one of those. It could have been a wrestling angle too. She just shows up, says, I don't like you, Rip. You make me sick. Next scene. Rip, you're so awesome and sexy. I just want to sex you up with your sexiness. And Rip's like, I can't, ma'am. I am pure and just, and you know, Jesus may be Social Security number 1. I'm number 2. So they tried desperately. Brill tries desperately to get Zeus and Rip to fight. And Rip's like, I ain't doing it, brother. I ain't wrestling him, brother. Because he doesn't play by the rules. And so Rip's brother and his friend go and see Zeus in a match. And they find out who this is. Like, he's wearing a Rip t-shirt. And Brill's like, so you're Rip fans. And his dumbass friend is like, he's not just a fan. That's Rip's brother. Thanks. If I was Rip's brother, I'd look at him like, you dumbass. Thanks a lot. It would almost be the equivalent of, please don't hurt me. There are women and children here. Take them instead. But don't hurt me. You sell out. And so Zeus kills fucking his brother. I think his name's Kenny. He just destroys Kenny. I think he paralyzes him. And that's when Rip goes nuts. Like, he goes to Zeus's private gym and just rips the shit out of everything. He's like, Zeus! I'll get you, Zeus! Hulk smash! And so they sign the match, but Brill decides that he's not, like, it's gonna be a no-holds-barred match. Like, no rules, no ring, no ref, nothing. So they have this match. And, of course, like in any sporting event movie, they have to have a kidnapping. So they say, like, Tom Brell, who has talked Zeus up to the fucking heavens. He says, like, Zeus will fucking kill you, Rip. He'll kill you. He's going to rip you in pieces. And he goes to his toadies, like, just to be absolutely sure that Rip loses, I want you to go kidnap his crippled brother and his girlfriend, just to be absolutely sure, because I'm really not 100% on Zeus. Why do that? What if Zeus heard that? Like, Zeus, you're going to kill this guy. You're an animal. But just to be safe, we're going to kidnap his brother and his girlfriend, so make sure you win. Zeus would look at it like, what? What do you mean? I can kill this guy. You even said, like, yeah, I know you can. I know you can. I just want to be safe. Like, cover all the bases. So they have a match, and the ring is in an octagon. And I said to myself, the only thing missing is a big old wire cage up, and there's UFC for you. There's the beginnings of UFC. And so they have this match. I guess it's to the death. I don't know. They never really established what the winner was. Whoever couldn't get up. I don't know. So, of course, the girlfriend and the crippled brother somehow escape their captors. And Hogan's getting beat down. And he sees his brother in the audience. He's like, "Come on, Rip! Come on! You're awesome! You're pure and just! And you have robes hanging in your closet for when you and Jesus had that toga party." And he starts moving his hands because he's been like a quadriplegic the whole movie, but now he's moving his hands. And he's like, "Yes! Yes, brother! You can walk because of my divine influence! Zeus!" And so they fight through the crowd. They fight up to the the control room, and I forgot to mention, Rip has a finisher in this movie. It's not a leg drop like Hogan used to do. He has this double sledgehammer blow. He lifts his arms up and he runs toward. He's like, "Ah!" And he hits you. So he does this to Zeus. And Zeus goes flying off the balcony into the ring, and the ring just implodes. Like here's the ring, and he just goes down right in the middle and just goes like that. the ropes go in there, the metal posts go flying in. Zeus is dead, and Hogan's like, "I killed him, brother! I killed him!" And then he remembers, like, "Wait a minute, brother. I sense a great evil." And he turns around, and he's like, there's Burrell in the control room. He's like, "Oh, brother. He's like, Ripomania's gonna rip on you, brother." And Burrell's like, "Oh my God, don't you touch me! I'll sue you! I will fucking sue you!" And I think he... what the hell does he do? I think he picks up a chair or something. Like, at this time, he's just going nuts. He's ripping the control room apart, and there's sparks flying everywhere. And I think he, backs up into this control panel and just gets shocked to death. And, of course, Hogan goes down to the ring, and he celebrates with his girlfriend and his non-crippled brother now. And that's it. Movie over. So, yeah, as much as I really bash on it, it's fun to watch just because I remember going nuts over this movie as a kid, because I'll admit I was a Hulk Hogan mark. I was a Hulkamaniac. Even WrestleMania 6, when he wrestled the Ultimate Warrior, my brother and my dad, we all watched it together, and they got on my case so bad that it's like, the Warrior's probably going to kill Hogan. I'm like, no, he's not! Hogan's going to win! Like, I like the Warrior, but Hogan's going to win. Nobody beats him. It's a good thing I didn't put money down on that one, because I would have lost. But, I remember when they announced, it's like, Hulk Hogan's going to be in his first starring role, and I'm like, holy shit! Hogan's gonna be in a movie. And if I was smarter back then, I would have realized, that's why the Macho Man is the world champion right now, because they needed to get Hogan away from the spotlight for him to make his movie. And it was funny because when they announced this movie, Jesse the Body Ventura went nuts. He went ape shit. He's like, how dare you, Hulk Hogan, go into my domain, Hollywood? I love Jesse Ventura because he was the first like badass heel that you loved. Like I have nothing but good things to say about Jesse Ventura. But would I recommend this movie? I would. If you're a wrestling fan, I would. Just because of the sheer camp value of it. Because, again, they treat this like it's blood sport. Because, like I said, this was '89, and the secrets of wrestling were not revealed yet. So, they really treated this like it was life or death. And Zeus was a very convincing villain. Like I said, this fucker was huge. He's still a big dude. If you've seen recent pictures of this guy, he's a monster. He's a beast. And as Zeus, he was awesome. But I was going to just do like a brief cap of No Holds Barred. I ended up talking about it. I'm probably talking for an hour and a half now. But I guess I'll just cut this up into 2 bits. And the next time you see me on camera, it'll probably be for when I talk about how this movie became a storyline in wrestling. And guess what? Just like the movie, it was fucking stupid. So, I'll see you next time for part 2 of No Holds Barred. And when I talk about Hulk Hogan and Zeus beyond the movie.